All of us in our lives will grieve someone we love. A lot of people struggle to openly talk about that, and we at Ryder want to be talking openly about death and dying, and ultimately about grief. Our grief kind spaces are there for people who can go and talk to like-minded people about how they're feeling. And I think it's about talking with people who perhaps you've never met before, so you're going to have a different conversation with them than you would do with your family. Some people really struggle to talk, when they're grieving. They're extremely emotional. Here is a very quiet space. You can sit and reflect, and even if you're not talking to anyone, you can sit and reflect on your own feelings and how you're feeling. Look at it, it's a beautiful setting. Particularly when Katherine, our garden designer, talked about it being that big green hug, people could really understand that.
The fact that you have things of interest around you, you can kind of get absorbed by nature, and you can just lose yourself watching just the grass is moving, which is what we've got now, and the different textures and interests, that you don't feel like you have to talk the whole time. Gardens are constantly changing, and I think, you see cycles in gardens, and I think that's the same with your grief. It's cycles, and it doesn't ever end. It evolves into different things.
I was fortunate enough to attend a Chelsea Flower Show. We had an evening event whereby we spoke to a lot of stakeholders around the garden, obviously, and grief. Katherine, our garden designer, spoke very passionately about what inspired her to develop the garden. That was very emotional for a lot of people there. So we were then talking to lots of people that attended about grief, how that affects them, how everyone's different, how we can support them here at Ryder via our grief kind spaces, our grief coach, our online community support services. So yeah, it was a very inspiring day.
Chelsea was fantastic. I mean, it's absolutely exhausting as a designer. It is a massive team effort. I wouldn't have been able to do it without the fantastic guys that did the landscaping and all of the people that supported me during planting week. What was nice during the whole of show week is we had so many people coming up to us and sort of saying, oh, actually I want to talk to you about grief, or they came and were sort of slightly upset and asked for a bit more information, and then asked if they could come and sit on the garden, and people actually wanted to come and sit in the garden and have a few minutes to chat either with someone from Ryder or just with their friend or loved one that they were with, and they felt safe doing that. As a designer, that's what I wanted to achieve. I wanted to create this space that you feel like you could just sit and talk or just be. And the fact that people did do that was brilliant.
So what do I hope this garden's going to be in the future? Well, it will grow up, it'll even be an even bigger, greener hug. What I want to see, which is what I'm already seeing, is for our patients, families, staff, volunteers to be able to come out here and find it that quiet space for open and honest conversations about death and dying.
I suppose I feel like my hopes have already been fulfilled in that, people have already been down and using it. Someone actually asked, can I bring my mother down here this weekend? And it was actually the last week of planting, so we were going to be finished. And I was like, absolutely, this is what this is for. And in that sense, I feel like it's achieving that, because people want to come and spend time in here, and their loved ones want to come and spend time in here.